Right. Ever catch yourself daydreaming about a career where you're not just pushing papers, but actually driving the action behind the scenes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, buckle up because today we're diving deep into the world of supply chain assistance, a role that's way more dynamic than the title might
You
suggest.
hit the nail on the head. This isn't your grandma's assistant role.
We're going behind the curtain with RoleCatcher's in-depth career guide, and let me tell you,
Right.
it's packed with insights that might surprise you. Think of it this way. When you picture the supply chain, maybe massive cargo ships or high-tech warehouses come to mind?
But it's the supply chain assistants who are the often unsung heroes, making sure everything runs smoothly like a well-oiled machine.
And this guide throws those dusty old paper pusher stereotypes right out the window. They're juggling invoices, contracts, inventory. They're basically the heartbeat of the entire operation.
And this is where it gets interesting. The guide emphasizes strong analytical and problem-solving skills as absolutely essential.
Yeah.
It's not just about going through the motions. It's about spotting those inefficiencies and coming up with creative solutions.
So you're basically a supply chain detective, sniffing out logistical logjams instead of clues at a crime scene.
Exactly.
I love it. But this guide isn't just about the nitty-gritty. It also lays out a surprisingly impressive career path. Forget being stuck in an assistant box forever. We're talking a clear trajectory from coordinator to analyst, even all the way up to manager.
And what's really helpful is that they back it up with real-world examples. They've got these profiles of people who've actually walked the walk, showing you exactly what's possible. One profile that caught my eye was a supply chain analyst who used data analysis to optimize these complex supply chain processes. Talk about impact.
See, that's what gets me fired up about this role. It's not just about keeping things organized. It's about using your brain power to make the whole system better, smarter, faster. And let's be real, you can't talk about efficiency these days without talking about technology, which is a huge part of what makes this career path so exciting.
Absolutely. The guide dives deep into the digital side of things, emphasizing how crucial those skills are. We're talking enterprise resource planning systems, or ERP for short, inventory management software, data analysis tools. It's all on the table.
So instead of just imagining those massive cargo ships, you're at the helm of the software that makes sure they reach their destination.
Precisely. And the guide doesn't shy away from the fact that this tech savviness is mission critical. Reading computers and electronics knowledge at a whopping 55% importance level.
Which might sound surprising for an assistant role, but when you think about it, it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. You're swimming in spreadsheets, mastering complex software, probably even troubleshooting tech hiccups on a regular basis.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket. You might not think tech skills are vital for an assistant role, but with a 55% importance rating, mastering these tools could be your ticket to standing out and advancing quickly. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, or should I say, the algorithm in the room, because this guide drops a bombshell career hack that could change everything: reverse matching.
Ah, yes. This is where RoleCatcher flips the script on traditional job hunting. Forget sending out countless resumes into the abyss. With reverse matching, employers are seeking you out based on your specific skills and experience.
Imagine that instead of you trying to fit your resume into what you think a company wants, they come knocking because your skills are a perfect match. No more awkward first date interviews. It's like a matchmaking service, but for your career.
It's brilliant, really. And the guide highlights that the skills you hone as a supply chain assistant are in high demand across many industries. We're talking attention to detail, communication, problem solving. Those are transferable gold mines.
So even if you decide to explore a different path down the road, this experience sets you up for success no matter what. But let's break down exactly how this reverse matching magic works. You ready to blow our listeners' mind?
Absolutely. Imagine this. You create a profile on RoleCatcher, highlighting all your awesome skills and experience. And then, instead of sending your resume out into the void hoping it lands on the right desk, employers come to you.
It's like they're swiping right on your career profile. No more agonizing wait times. Or wondering if anyone even looked at your resume. This is about getting noticed for what you bring to the table. But let's get real for a second. What does a typical day actually look like for a supply chain assistant?
Well, picture this. You start your day by reviewing incoming shipments,
Okay.
maybe updating inventory records in the system.
Okay.
Then you might find yourself coordinating with suppliers to tackle a delivery hiccup or processing those essential purchase orders.
So you're like the air traffic controller of goods and materials, making sure everything flows smoothly?
Exactly. And because we live in a data-driven world,
Right.
a big chunk of your day would involve analyzing data to spot trends or maybe even potential bottlenecks before they become major headaches.
So not only are you directing traffic, you're also putting on your detective hat again, looking for any signs of trouble in the data. It
Yeah.
sounds like there's never a dull moment. But the guide also hints at the demanding side of this role. What kind of challenges should someone be prepared for?
Well, it's not always smooth sailing. The guide is upfront about the fact that this isn't your typical 9 to 5 gig. You need to be ready to roll up your sleeves and put in the hours, especially during those peak seasons or when unexpected disruptions pop up. Remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020. Talk about a high demand item.
Imagine being the supply chain assistant during that chaos. I bet time management skills, which the guide ranks at a 50% importance level, suddenly shoot up to 150%.
You're not wrong. It takes a cool head and a knack for prioritizing to thrive in those situations.
Yeah.
Plus, you're offered the crucial link between different departments and even external vendors.
Right.
So clear communication and a healthy dose of diplomacy are key.
So not only do you need to be organized and efficient, but you also need to be a master communicator and a bit of a diplomat. Now, the guide also gets into the essential knowledge base for this role. What are some of the must-haves?
A solid understanding of supply chain management principles is a given. Think procurement, logistics, inventory management, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the technical side we talked about earlier, mastering those ERP systems,
Mm-hmm.
inventory management software, and data analysis tools. They're non-negotiable if you want to streamline processes and make those data-driven decisions.
It's amazing how much this assistant role has evolved, right? You're not just an assistant, you're a tech-savvy, data-crunching, problem-solving machine. But let's not forget the human skills communication, adaptability, and a healthy dose of resilience in the face of unexpected supply chain chaos. Now, for anyone listening who's already picturing themselves in this role, the guide outlines some exciting career progression opportunities. Let's break it down for them.
From supply chain assistant, you can climb the ladder to roles like supply chain coordinator, logistics coordinator, inventory analyst.
Yeah.
You can even set your sights on becoming a purchasing manager or even a supply chain manager.
From assistant to architect of the supply chain, that's quite the journey.
It really is. And the best part is, the guide breaks down those typical responsibilities for each stage, even showcasing real-life examples of individuals who've successfully navigated those transitions.
Right.
It's like having a roadmap to success. But remember, continuous learning is key in this ever-evolving field.
That's right. Whether you're diving into online courses, earning those professional certifications like the APCS-CSCP, that's the Association for Supply Chain Management's Certified Supply Chain Professional Certification, by the way, attending industry conferences, or even just staying glued to those industry publications, that commitment to expanding your knowledge is what sets you apart.
Think of it this way. In the fast-paced world of supply chain management, if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind.
Right.
Soaking up new information, embracing new technologies, that's how you stay ahead of the curve and become an invaluable asset.
So we've got the skills, the career path, and the constant drive to learn and adapt. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we haven't touched on yet. The potential downsides. Every job has them, right? What does the guide highlight as some of the challenges someone might face in this role?
Well, as we touched on earlier, the supply chain world doesn't always stick to a neat 9 to 5 schedule.
It's more like 24/7, right? Especially when you've got those global shipments and unexpected hiccups to deal with.
Exactly. Those long hours can be demanding, especially during peak seasons or when a wrench gets thrown into the gears, like when that giant container ship got stuck in the Suez Canal a while back.
Oh, yeah, that was a mess. Talk about a global supply chain headache.
And in those high-pressure situations, it's all about staying calm, cool, and collected. Remember, supply chain assistants are often the go-between for multiple departments and outside vendors.
So you're not just solving problems, you're also putting out fires and smoothing ruffled feathers, all while keeping everyone in the loop.
You could say that. It takes a special kind of multitasker to thrive in this environment. And while the career growth potential is enormous, the guide points out that climbing that ladder often requires extra education or certifications.
Which, let's be honest, is a good rule of thumb for any career these days. The learning never stops. Speaking of which, let's circle back to that game-changing reverse matching feature on RoleCatcher. Our listener might be wondering, how does it actually work? Could this be the secret weapon for landing their dream supply chain gig?
Absolutely. It's like having a personal recruiter in your corner. Instead of you hunting down companies, RoleCatcher puts you in the driver's seat. Employers who are actively searching for someone with your unique skills and experience can find you no more resume black holes or hoping for the best.
So it's like online dating, but for your career. You're putting yourself out there, showcasing what makes you awesome, and letting those opportunities come to you. What's not to love?
Right. It's all about making those valuable connections based on what you bring to the table, not just who you know or how well you play the application game.
I'm all for leveling the playing field. All right, so to wrap things up, if you're out there listening and thinking, supply chain assistant, that's my calling, what's the one piece of advice, that golden nugget of wisdom you would give them?
Don't underestimate yourself. This isn't just an assistant role. It's a launch pad to an exciting, dynamic, and impactful career. If you're organized, tech-savvy, and thrive on a challenge, this could be your ticket to a truly rewarding future.
I love it. From assistant to architect of the supply chain, the sky's the limit. And hey, RoleCatcher is out there, ready to help you make those career dreams a reality. So go check out their career guide, polish up that resume, and who knows, your dream supply chain gig might just find you. Until next time, happy diving.